Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Ordinary Council meeting of Dubbo Regional Council of 15 November 2021. I can advise that this meeting is being streamed live to the internet, and all those present should therefore refrain from making any defamatory statements. And upon joining these online meetings, you accept the condition that your image may be recorded and streamed to the internet, as well as being retained in the archive of the recorded council meeting and standing committee meetings. I now open the 15 November 2021 Ordinary Council meeting, the time being 5:31 p.m. First up is prayer and acknowledgement of country from Councillor Grant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. O God, grant that by the knowledge of thy will, all we may resolve shall work together for good. We pray through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
I would like to acknowledge the Wiradjuri people who are the traditional custodians of the land. I would also like to pay respect to the elders both past and present of the Wiradjuri nation and extend that respect to other Aboriginal peoples from other nations who are present.
Thanks, Councillor Grant. There's no applications for leave of absence. We have the whole team here. Next up is conflicts of interest. Is there any councillors who would like to declare a conflict of interest? Thanks, Councillor Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Look, I'll be declaring a conflict of interest on item number CCL 21-274. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Parker. Any other declarations, councillors? No? Okay. Next up is public forum. No one has registered to speak in public forum, but we do have members of the community here. Is there anybody who would like to address council for 5 minutes? No? Okay, we'll move on to the first substantive agenda item, confirmation of minutes. Can I have someone move that the minutes of the council meetings of 25 and 28 October be accepted? Thanks, Councillor Jones. Seconded, Councillor Etheridge. Any questions or debate, councillors? No? I'll put that then. All those in favour and against? Declare it carried. Next up, councillors, is a late mayoral minute. I'll move that. Have we got a seconder for that? Thanks, Councillor Ryan. This is a late mayoral minute in relation to working relationships with government agency secondments. It actually came out of an idea that Councillor Ryan had in relation to providing opportunities for our employees of council and for employees of New South Wales government agencies to undertake secondments, either here in Dubbo Regional Council or in state agencies. I'll just speak to it very briefly, and then I think I'll let Councillor Ryan speak to it because I anticipate that he will wish to. There has been a significant focus from the New South Wales Government on regionalisation of public service positions, with an increase in opportunities for people based in the Dubbo Regional LGA. This is also a feature of government policy settings such as the Central West Orana Renewable Energy Zone, leading to demand for professionals in a variety of roles. This presents both risks and opportunities for council. For individuals, there are now more career development opportunities available by moving between local government and New South Wales government in the Dubbo Regional LGA and Orana region. Council's employees are attracted to and indeed approached to join New South Wales agencies. For council, this potentially represents an immediate loss of corporate knowledge and momentum on key bodies of work and or service delivery. As more agencies recruit with a focus on regional New South Wales and are agnostic about location, this places pressure on council's own recruitment for key roles, exacerbated when attempting to fill vacancies created when staff leave to join an agency or department. So the basic idea that Councillor Ryan is proposing is to ensure a greater return on the investment in staff development. It could be a better outcome if council could enter a formal relationship with the New South Wales government agencies to allow for secondments between council and the state government as a measured and targeted approach. I certainly support this, and I'll look forward to hearing Councillor Ryan speak to it. So with that brief introduction, I might hand over to Councillor Ryan.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor.
When you've got a large organisation, there, by the nature of things, can become quite inward-looking, and that goes for private and public institutions. when people want to get ahead in organisations such as the New South Wales Police, the Education Department, quite often they have to go out to the back blocks and do the hard yards, and a part of that it's an apprenticeship where you get to see a whole heap of different workings in different environments with different people. You learn from different people, you learn good ways of doing things, you see bad ways of doing things, and hopefully learn from that. When we were having a briefing the other day with people who the CEO had come into contact with when he'd worked for state government, it was really refreshing, and we got a lot more out of it because he knew these people on first name terms. There was a high level of trust, and we just got a lot of information flow in a quick period of time. If somebody, for instance, was an officer at council, they may not want to progress to or move to a state government department. That could mean a dislocation of your family life, you'd be taking risks, but if there was a secondment or a work experience potential where they could go in and see how the people deal with their applications from local government, I think it could be quite insightful. And when they came back to council, and hopefully they would have a much better understanding not only of how to progress business on behalf of the residents of Dubbo, they'd also know the people who they could ring directly and talk to. This is a two-way street, and hopefully any arrangement of this type could see a flow the other way, where people who may be working in the state government bureaucracy come and work for council, and then they might think, geez, we were giving them a bit of a hard time over something for no reason. We won't do that in the future. That's a perfect world scenario, but quite often when people walk in someone else's shoes, you see that. And in fact, a lady was telling me she was a very senior bureaucrat involved in a program where she was put into an office with people from a number of other departments. Prior to that, in her more than 25 years working in the sector, she took great offence to people who said she was siloed and was only looking at things from one point of view. When she worked in an office with people from a range of different departments, she said she quickly realised that she'd inadvertently been siloed, and that it was an incredibly empowering experience to be able to just tap someone on the shoulder and sort something out in a quick second, rather than endless emails and trying to do things over the phone when people might be on leave or might be away or might be busy, or you haven't got to the right person, or you don't know the right person to go to in the first place. I can see this working in a number of ways. I think it would give our staff, or potentially give our staff, an enormous amount of contacts that they wouldn't otherwise have. It's been pointed out to me that the state government pay scale may be in cases more generous than council, so we could lose staff, but we're losing staff anyway. Everyone is struggling to get workers. Everyone is really struggling to get skilled workers in specialised and niche fields. So I think I think that's something we're just going to have to live with. I also think that people in city or coastal areas may look at this new surge of regionalisation towards the bush. We've talked about it. We've all thought it's a pipe dream for the last 20, 30, 50 years. All of a sudden it's becoming a reality. And I think if we had a council organisation where people thought that there were all sorts of different opportunities for learnings, that they might learn 5 years in a 2 or 3 year stint at council, rather than just be sort of in one stream, I think that could actually entice people. I think it would improve. I think it would vastly improve the culture of any organisations that had this sort of program as well. And I think ultimately there may be a cost, but I think ultimately the cost-benefit ratio for ratepayers and taxpayers could be immense. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Ryan. Any other questions or debate on the mayoral minute, councillors? Okay, I'll put that then. All those in favour and against, I declare it carried. Next up is 274, investments under section 625 of the Local Government Act, October 2021. Can I please have someone move the report of the Chief Financial Officer? Thanks, Councillor Jones. We've got a seconder. Thanks, Councillor Grant. Councillor Parker, have you got a declaration?
Yeah, look, thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to declare a significant pecuniary interest on the matter before Council. The reason for this is that I'm an employee of the Bank of Queensland, Dubbo, that the Council has funds invested with that bank, and I will remove myself from the room while it's being discussed. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Parker. Any questions or debate, councillors? No? I'll put that then. All those in favour and against, I declare it carried, and we'll get Councillor Parker back. Thanks, Councillor Parker. Next up is the building summary for October 2021, item 275. Can I have someone move the report of the Director of Development and Environment? Thanks, Councillor Etheridge. We've got a seconder. Thanks, Councillor Diffie. Any questions or debate, councillors? No, I'll put that then. All those in favour and against, I declare it carried. Next up is 275, Teamsters Park Court Renewal Club Grants, Category 3 Infrastructure Grants. Can I please have someone move the report of the Manager, Recreation and Open Space? Thanks, Councillor Jones. Seconded, Councillor Grant. Any questions or debate, councillors? Yep. Thanks, Councillor Grant.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Look, I just briefly want to quickly say thank you to the staff for their work on this. I know we don't have the money as yet, but we're obviously going for a grant for this project, and it's great to see. I've had a number of people myself contact me and asking what is happening with this facility. We obviously had our community feedback afternoon last year. It was around the 22nd of February last year, obviously just before all this COVID stuff really locked us down. But look, it was a great afternoon, and I believe we got some good feedback, and there was some good community feedback. So obviously this is going to certainly help make Teamsters Park improve Teamsters Park. But it's also an area that's got some historic significance. That area down there that obviously been the last known gun duel in Australia. So it's obviously a significant site, not just for the facilities that are there, but obviously the historic site as well, just been across the road from the Lion of Waterloo as well. So it's great to see this being put forward, and hopefully we get the funding. Thank you, Mr Watts.
Questions or debate, councillors? No, I'll put that then. All those in favour and against, I declare it carried. Next up is comments and matters of urgency. I might start to my left with Councillor Moore this week.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I'd like to thank the council staff for their help over the last four and a bit years. I appreciate everything that you've done for me, and this council wouldn't run the way it does with the hard dedication of the work that you people do. And I thank you, and that goes to everyone on the outdoor staff as well. They do a particularly good job. We've had a very hard 2 years, especially with COVID, the drought and so on, and you've done extremely well, and you should be proud of yourselves. And I thank you, and on behalf of the community that I represent, I thank you for your work. Thanks.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Probably just repeat what I said last meeting, given that was going to be our last, but here we are again. And probably as what Councillor Moore said as well, this council wouldn't be the council that it is without the staff, and you do an incredible job, so to all of the staff. Thank you to my fellow councillors here tonight. Thank you for 4 years. We've all had our differences, but we all front up and get the job done, so thank you. And to Gus and the girls who are actually here tonight, thank you for all of your support and being there for me all the way through.
Thanks, Councillor Diffie. And Councillor Etheridge.
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. Once again, I don't want to reiterate over what everybody else has said before me, but it's been a pleasure to be here. It's been a pleasure to serve, and the staff has been a pleasure to work with. So I want to say thank you. and let's see what happens.
Thanks, Councillor Etheridge. And Councillor Ryan.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. Obviously, I reiterate what everyone said about the staff. I had a phone call in between the briefing and the start of the meeting that about an email I'd sent from a local person who was seeking the resolution of a problem, and I sent the email yesterday. I just had a call from a person saying that had been fixed, so thank you to everyone who did that, and that is a daily occurrence. I don't think people understand the amount of inquiries that come in to council. I look at a little block I've got and the inability I have to keep it slashed, and I think of all the people who talk to me about our mowing program, and you know, in a drought you've got far too many mowers and slashes, and when it's years like this you just cannot keep up. And added to that is when you're looking for spare parts for plant that are stuck somewhere overseas because of COVID. So yeah, no, look, I do reiterate that. I'd just like to say that after 4 years on council, I thought I knew a little bit prior because I'd reported on council, but I had no idea how pathetic the Local Government Act 1993 was when it came to the protection of the community. The local government minister, Shelley Hancock, I have found out in my time, I didn't know who she was and really didn't care. I found out that she's pathetic. She's an absolute disgrace for what she's put Dubbo through unnecessarily. She needs to either resign or be sacked, and she can go and get well and truly far away from Dubbo. Thank you.
Councillor Jones.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I too would like to thank the staff for everything that they have done. There's a number of staff that when they picked up the phone, all they'd get is, "It's problem child here again." And they started laughing because I had so many problems with my IT and connectivity out where I live. So, you know, they've just been just so helpful and patient with me and all my problems out there with IT. So thank you, staff, for everything that you've done to help me in relation to that. To those that are senior staff, I'd like to thank you also for everything that you've done to assist me through the last 4 and a bit years. It's been an absolute pleasure to have a new CEO. Murray, thank you for everything that you have done since you arrived. It has been an absolute pleasure since you've been here, and you have proven that you have what it takes to lead this council as far as the staffing is concerned. To my fellow councillors, thank you. You have been just wonderful. I know there have been times, as Councillor Diffie has said, that we haven't always agreed, but we always showed up the next time with a smile on our face, and we kept going because we remember that the reason that we're here is for the community, not for ourselves. So thank you, staff, for everything that you've done. For those councillors that are recontesting, and there are four. I was going to say, as I understand it, but the nominations have all closed, so there are definitely 4. I wish my fellow councillors that are standing all the best for the election on the 4th of December, and hope that we all who are contesting come back to this chamber to continue to serve our community, who is our number 1 priority. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Jones. And Councillor Grant.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I actually have something written, so...
Very good.
Look, to be honest, who thought? I never thought this day was going to get here. You know, extended not once but twice our term, so it's good that we're here. And look, I just want to say, after 12 years on council, 2 terms on the old Wellington Council and 1 term on the newly formed Dubbo Regional Council. Obviously, I've taken decided to take the step back from local government. During this time, I served as Deputy Mayor on Wellington Council for a couple of years, and now I've decided to obviously put my family first. I've missed many important moments throughout the years, and one that always stands out and was when Alison arrived home with our eldest, Adelina, who's in the audience tonight. The whole family's here tonight, basically I dropped Alison and Adelina off at home and basically went to a council budget meeting because I didn't want to miss out on getting stuff into the budget. So, and look, that's the commitment sometimes you've got to, well, not sometimes, you've got to have to this role, and you know, that's things I won't get back, but it's things I've put into the community as well, and I appreciate the support I've always had. Obviously, this decision won't mean I won't be around the local community. I'll certainly probably be involved more, actually. It gives me the opportunity to be involved in the things that my 2 daughters, Adelina and Emmeline and Alison, are involved in, and so I'll be able to spend more time with them. I can say that I've enjoyed working with council staff. You know, the effort that you guys put in, it's remarkable. And obviously councillors to ensure that projects have come to fruition. To be honest, I was never interested in local politics or local government, but I've always fought for the best outcomes of Wellington, Dubbo and obviously the surrounding villages and localities. The council staff I've worked with over the last 12 years, as I said, have to be commended. It's actually you guys that make these things happen, and you know, you don't understand how much we appreciate what you do. We take all the accolades, we get to cut the ribbons, but you guys do all the funding applications, all the actual physical work behind the scenes, so thank you so much for what you guys do. Look, I have so many people to thank. Firstly, I need to thank, once again, my beautiful wife, Alison. She's always had my back the whole time that I've been involved in local government, and she's always supported me. Alison has been my sounding board, and for all those tough decisions you have to make in local government, and I couldn't have done the last 12 years without you, so thanks, Dal. And to my beautiful daughters, Dad is finally leaving council. It's finally happening. 15 months after I originally promised, but I won't have to hear that, "Oh, Dad, come on, can't you just quit, not council again?" But to be honest, it's not one of those things I could do. I just couldn't quit council. It's just not setting the right example just to leave council when things get hard. So that's why I've stayed here, hopefully set the right example that you stick it out when you go into something. And yeah, we're just about done. I need to say a big thank you to all the people that have helped me over the last 12 years at elections, supported me, given me feedback. There's so many people out there that I want to thank, but I don't want to mention anyone because I know I will miss someone. I clearly remember picking up on some of these people hungover before election day, getting them to hand out flyers at 8 o'clock in the morning. They weren't too impressed, but they ended up doing it. And also I've even had breastfeeding mums go out to Stewarttown and Mumble and these places to actually hand out flyers for me. So these people have really supported me and helped me, and I can't thank them enough for what they've done. Thank you to all the communities of Wellington area for voting for me. The support I've received from Wellington, Dubbo, the Wellington Dubbo residents, but also the residents from the surrounding villages is appreciated. I consider it to be an honour and a privilege serving everyone of these areas, Wellington, Dubbo region, and obviously the villages, especially at events, ceremonies. I just can't express my gratitude for the support that I've been given. I know that I can walk away from local government now holding my head high, knowing that I was elected on my own merits. I know that my decisions have been based on good morals, good values, and the best intentions for the region I was representing at the time, without any political influence. I know I'll be leaving the region in a better position than when I entered local government 12 years ago. Finally, I would like to wish all the candidates the best for the upcoming election, and just 2 pieces of advice is don't be afraid to stand on your own 2 feet, and if you don't agree with someone, just respect their decision. You don't have to agree with them, but just respect decisions. And for our region at the moment, it's in a fantastic position, and that's just obviously because of staff, but our region is in a fantastic position now, not because of the councillors, but because of the staff we have to run our everyday operations. Just thank you, and I look forward to seeing people around. Thanks.
And Councillor Parker.
Yeah, probably not a good night for sort of saying a lot of thank yous, but anyway, I think I'd probably just want to reiterate what I said at the last meeting. Thank all the staff for their assistance and guidance during the last, many years. I hope everything goes well for the future councillors. My fellow councillors here tonight, thank you for their fellowship, and I'd like just to wish you all the very best in health and with your future endeavours. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Parker. Yeah, so like most of us, I said most of my thank yous and goodbyes last meeting because we weren't sure if we were going to have this meeting, so I won't speak for too long. I'd like to acknowledge and apologise for the mistakes that I've made over the term of council, but I don't think I've made any this year, but certainly in the past. It's great to see all the members of our families here. It would have been nice every month, but maybe our family members wouldn't have thought it was so nice, but it's lovely to have everyone here. I want to wish all the councillors who are contesting the election all the best of luck. I'd like to particularly acknowledge Councillor Grant, who is not contesting after 12 years in local government. That's an incredible stint, mate, and you have been pure of heart in all of your decisions and in all of your dealings with me. I have a massive amount of respect for you. I know that everyone here does. And there's been various different occasions where you've taken views different to me, and I never for a moment, particularly this year, thought that it was anything other than you trying to apply your moral and ethical perspective, and I really respect that, and I know that everyone does, including the community. And lastly, I want to wish the community good luck in the elections. I won't, of course, say anything political, but I wish the community the best of luck in researching the candidates carefully, as you would expect in any election, and voting for candidates who are ethical, have integrity, and are standing for election because they want to do good things for the community, not for themselves. So that is the end of comments and matters of urgency. And can I have someone now move us into Committee of the Whole to deal with the confidential item? Thanks, Councillor Jones. I've got a seconder. Thanks, Councillor Ryan. I'll put that. All those in favour? And against, declare it carried. We'll move into Committee of the Whole, the time being, I think, 5:58 p.m. Okay, well, I'll formally reopen the ordinary council meeting of 15 November. We've just done Committee of the Whole. I'll now ask the Governance and Internal Control Manager to read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Item CW 21/26, acquisition of easement for sewer, 1 Paringa Place, Wellington. 1. That council acquire an easement for sewer 7.38 metres wide over council sewer infrastructure at lot 511, DP 619239, in accordance with specifications outlined in this report. 2. That the easement burdened that portion of land already burdened by the easement to drain water as registered on deposited plan DP 619239. 3. That all documentation in relation to this matter be executed under power of attorney where necessary. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms Rouse. Can I have someone move the report from Committee of the Whole of 15 November? Thanks, Councillor Jones. Seconded, Councillor Ryan. Any questions or debate, councillors? No, I'll put that then. All those in favour and against, I declare the motion carried. There are no further items for consideration of the ordinary council meeting, or indeed for this council, and I therefore declare the meeting closed, the time being 6:02 p.m. I thank everyone for their attendance. Web streaming has now been completed. Please stop the web streaming.